Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm back from the Cardinal Open. So, I ended up, well, I'm not going to tell you what my final score was this tournament, but to keep some suspense. but we're going to go ahead and skip round one. Round one, I actually did play a 1900 on Friday night and got a not so good position where I was two pawns down and my attack was desperate at best. But I played for tricks and actually got a trick. So basically, well, I'll show that game um, soon, but I really wanted to focus today on this game. This is round two, and I played Dr. William Stewart. So this is my Saturday morning game. Time control was 40 moves in 120 minutes with 30 minutes after that for each player, and then also 10-second increment throughout. So a very, very generous time control, which I enjoy. So, okay, let's look at the game, shall we? In this game, I played the white pieces, and I was, very curious what would my opponent play? Would he go e4 or would he go d4? The answer is b4. So I was a little surprised because I was not expecting this. This is called the Polish, some call it the orangutan. And so, okay, I actually do know this somewhat because I've played Jim Slagle many times in this opening, and I even did some studies on it before. So I like this line where we both trade pawns. I did give up my center pawn while he only gave up his b pawn. But on the other hand, his bishop is a bit more vulnerable than my bishop, which can park on a5. There's no b pawn to kick that bishop out ever, and it's pinning the d pawn. So I actually think that this is looking good. And the only thing is, just don't blunder that, Gotta play knight f6 because we don't want to blunder that. And then he went c4, which is the move that Slagle plays. And I was pretty familiar with the coming lines. That is the main move. If they play knight f3, the main line is castles kingside, e3, d5, c4 now. Okay. And then c5 by black, a3 attacking the bishop, bishop a5, and c takes d5, knight takes d5. And there's 48 games in the database from here, and the vast majority are drawn, which is kind of interesting. So I don't play that line, but I thought it would be interesting to at least just take a peek at it. But okay, in the game, I just went knight to c6. And so my goal when developing my line against the Polish was, well, actually my coach Jim Antoline helped me with this, and he had a feeling I would like this way of playing. Basically, rapid development, and we may even castle queenside and go for an attack. So I do like it quite a bit. So knight c6 makes so much sense. You're attacking that bishop, and the best move is really just to go back where it was. And now we could castle kingside. That's the main line from here, but I don't do that. I like to play d5 right away. d5 attacks that pawn. Notice there's no d3 to protect it. So it's actually best for them to just take. And then I played queen takes d5. So this move looks a little unusual at the first time you see it, because you're probably thinking, Stacia, why would you let him mess up your pawns? Bad Stacia. But if any of my students are watching, they would know that I always say, I don't care about pawns. So that means I definitely don't care about pawn structure. No, but on a more serious note, he moved his bishop 3 times already. So if he wants to move it a 4th time and trade it off, giving me the bishop pair just for this, when I'm not even castled kingside yet, I can easily go queenside. I think it's just a mistake. It really is. And if I ask the computer, it's probably going to say like, yeah, it says minus 1.5, so black is much better. So I think I've had this position once, and it was a pretty easy game. But generally, if the player is good, they're not going to take that. So I like queen takes. Now, we can get hit by knight c3. And sometimes I actually do take the knight. I think that's a valid way of playing. But this game, I went queen f5, which I've looked at both. And then knight f3 was played, which I expected. So let's keep developing. Bishop e6, e3, and yep, castle queenside. Okay. I love these low time control games because it's not like I spent tons of time in the opening, but I really did like look at other options, and I liked all these moves, even though I had played probably all these before. So, okay, but I knew what I was doing as opposed to blitzing them out. All right, so he goes a3, attacking my bishop, but of course, bishop a5. I just love that there's no b pawn to kick that bishop away. Also, since we're castled queenside, this bishop can become a defender. It's also an excellent diagonal a lot of times. Doesn't look like it, but it often is. And, okay, yeah. Or maybe we'll take the knight. You never know. We might take it still. Depends. So d4 was played. Now, I was very suspicious at this part of the game. And I have to admit, when I get that feeling, it's usually right. But I can't always find the right move to punish it. Well, I got that feeling, and I'm seeing now the computer. I don't have like the engine on, but I ran the analysis earlier. The computer says d4 is a blunder. So like, wow. I got to listen to my intuition more often. Oh yeah, so here I played the move knight to e4. I think this is the best move. Let's check. It is. Knight to e4 is correct. What could be more natural? We're putting our knight in the center. It's attacking a pinned piece. I mean, it's beautiful, right? What? Yeah, of course. So knight e4, not too hard to find. And so I remember thinking here he had to play rook c1, which he did. If he went queen c2, I thought he would lose the game. Why did I think that? I'm sure there's some reason. Probably because, oh, I kind of remember. I did calculate this. I thought if he does this, I can take. Now, I've got discoveries. If he wants to take my queen, I can first check. I'm not sure where I would check, but I could check somewhere. Something like this, maybe. And yeah, and if he goes here, I take. That should be winning. And even still, I'm going to get time to take the queen back. So yeah, I think that's just winning. And if he takes this way, he's going to lose his queen. And if he takes with the queen, he's going to lose the queen. So yeah, nothing works. So yeah, I saw that he can't play queen c2. And I thought rook c1 had to be played. So that's correct and true. And okay, so now we've reached one of the first moments that I want to focus on here. So okay, we've got a nice position as black. We're much better here. But what is the plan? What should we do? So if you want to pause your video and come up with a plan, go ahead and do so now. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the moves I was considering here. I was considering rook HE8. That's just sort of a normal move. And it does put some pressure here. And we've got pressure here. And okay, it's just sort of normal. But then I saw this idea of going G5. I thought this was also a very interesting idea because the threat is G4. When the knight moves, we have checkmate behind there. So they can't really ignore the threat. So I thought this plan was quite nice. And if they try H3, I feel like it's not going to matter. We just go H5 and renew the threat. Oops. So I was very much liking that plan the best. He does have some moves, but he plays them, so you'll see them. So, okay, I went with g5 in the game. Now, I'm going to ask the computer what plan it likes. Oh, wow. It likes rook he8 better. Okay, and let's just say he played a normal move. Maybe something like bishop d3, because that looks a little annoying at least. And then it says we have knight takes d4. Wow. Okay. Knight takes d4. This must have to do with the d file. I'll tell you that because, all right, let's say they take. What is going on here? Now we can take on c3. And if they take back, which is what I would expect, yeah, we just play bishop c4 check, discovery. King f1, because with this bishop here, they can't really do that. Yeah, this square is getting killed. So king f1, and then we take, and that's check as well. Yeah, and that they can't take back. So we just won material. We won the material back, and that king looks terrible. And I guess, we're gonna be threatening that. We can take. Wow, there's a lot of options here actually. So after king g1, it just says bishop e2, and after queen c2, we can take. We're gonna trade, and then play bishop d1. Bishop d1, really? Okay. And then if they go here, I guess we just take this. And if they take this, we play here. And if they take that, we say thank you. Because we have back rank checkmate. Okay, that's a pretty long line, but I was really curious about that sacrifice. And yeah, it turns out that we can play that immediately, like right here. You can play this knight takes d4 thing. I still don't understand this completely. More tactics puzzles for me, I guess. Like, I looked at this during the game too, and I was like, nah, I don't think so. Like, because it just looks like, okay, they take with a pawn. I mean, I looked at this because I thought, ooh, they'll take with a knight, and then I get checkmate. Like, okay, I can find that. But after pawn takes, I wasn't exactly sure. Yeah, and you have to play this slow move, rook h to e8. I mean, I guess we're playing like Morphe here. It's like we're sacrificing because white's pieces are terrible, right? It kind of looks like the opera game a little bit. The knight is pinned, the queen and rooks are back here, not doing anything. This bishop's passive, like, but the black pieces are all super active. We have this pin too, like, so when that's the case, there's often sacrifices, just like the opera game. But this one, hard for me to understand. Yeah, I mean, if bishop e2, once again, we take, and this time bishop c4, because if they take that, yeah, we play, I was looking at this earlier, we play here, win the queen, that seems good. So they can't take that, and if they can't take that, then what on earth do they do? I mean, if they just castle, yeah, they're just gonna lose a piece, right? Like, let's just take that. And when they take, we take here. And that just looks too good. There's no way that black's not winning there. So, wow. So I missed this idea. That one seems a little hard for me. So I'm not too upset I missed that one. When I miss easy ones, yeah, then I'm mad. That one looks a little tough. You have to play that slow move and stuff. Yeah, I'm capable of it. Maybe. No, I don't think so, actually. But g5, you know, I was kind of excited about this plan. I thought it might be really good. Computer does approve and say black's better. My opponent played bishop d3, which I expected. And yeah, g4. Let's go, right? Let's play g4. Attack the knight. Now, this is where my opponent thought a while and found a move that surprised me a bit. Ooh, I see now it's like one of the top engine moves. He played queen to c2. So, whoops. Let's talk about what that does. That move is annoying, right? Like, we're actually like pinned here, and he just put more pressure on the pinned piece. So I was like, wow, why didn't I notice this? Now, the line that I thought I would play here, though, was pawn takes, bishop takes. Okay, and then I can take here, because if they take the queen, we take the rook and make a new queen with check. So that should be amazing. So actually, after pawn takes, bishop takes, and pawn takes g2, he has to play bishop takes g2. And I was looking at this and I was like, oh, I guess this king's going to be safe anyway. And I don't want to trade queens. I'm not going to trade queens. And yeah, I guess I can move my queen away, but yeah, I don't know. It's not good enough, was my eval. Turns out I was wrong, because if you go into this, so I got here and then stopped calculating basically. But I mean, truthfully speaking, we have an open G file. He's gonna have problems if he castles, right? Like, the bishop will get pinned. We have moves like, I don't know, queen G5, or I don't know, different moves we could try. And we don't have to trade queens here, that's for sure. And on top of that, if he doesn't castle, I feel like we're going to do that stuff down the central files again. We're still better developed. Yeah, everything looks good here for black. And if I ask the computer, yeah, it says -3, it says. I mean, -3. So, man, if I had found that, this could have been a very different game. Instead, I ruled that out when I calculated. And yeah, I'm going to have a long talk with myself on why I ruled that out so quick, because I don't exactly understand why I didn't like that. And why I liked this other move better. I was really drawn to this move, bishop d5. But this move, there's a couple problems with it. Okay, I mean, black's still slightly better here, but I don't like this move, and I'm going to tell you why. The first thing is we lose the initiative, right? We lose the initiative. This is so important. You know, look at my moves until this. Okay, after d4, you know, we're threatening to win on c3. Then we're threatening g4. Then we play g4, attacking the knight. And now queen c2. I mean, if you go with the flow of what's happening here, and you understand chess, then you know that keeping the initiative is the right thing to do here. And, you know, if we do this, we're keeping the initiative, right? I mean, right away, I see that I could go queen g5. I mean, just saying I could. I don't know if that's the right move, but it attacks a bishop, right? If he wants to castle, okay, we have like ideas like this. We have ideas like, actually, Braden Hart, National Master Braden Hart, was talking about crazy moves like bishop b3. He said this might be an idea. Because, like, if they take, we go rook g8 and, like, good luck. You know, like, pretty cool. So this is the way the game should have gone as far as I'm concerned. Instead, bishop d5. Now, let's compare this to the other line. This bishop d5 move, okay, yeah, it just defends, right? It just defends. But now we lose the initiative. We clearly lose the initiative. And I knew this when I played it. And I think I underestimated how bad it is to lose the initiative here. And even though I felt a drop, like my intuition told me, like, maybe I'm not better anymore, or I'm certainly not as better. But it doesn't keep the initiative. It's more passive. I'm just moving a piece again, basically, right? And I'm allowing tons of trades now. Now White can just trade like crazy and get safe and castle. So I'm allowing him to trade. I'm allowing him to castle. Just that big advantage we had is just going to dissipate here. So I'm very upset about this move. Computer only calls it inaccurate, but I would call it a solid mistake, like very much a mistake. Maybe even a blunder as far as I'm concerned, because the other way was like borderline winning, keeping the pressure on, keeping the initiative. And this way is like letting white do what they want to do. And now the game's going to be more equal. But it's worse than that because watch what happens. Okay, so on bishop d5, white seizes the initiative, knight h4. This is one of the moves that I calculated. But I also had to calculate stuff like this, right? Like all these captures. It's annoying. And if this queen steps out, I have to worry about rook takes c6 even. You know, like that exchange sacrifice is valid in a lot of lines. So like, yeah, I just gave white what they wanted, and they're definitely going to castle. So I go queen e6, which makes sense. Castle. And now bishop b3. Okay, so I'm trying to get the initiative again. Maybe this is why I liked bishop d5. I don't know. I saw this coming, and I was like, ooh. But, I mean, is it that great? It's a little bit okie dokie to me, because it's like, you know, oh, play queen b1, you know, go ahead, get forked, go get forked. Okay, but he doesn't have to play that. He can play queen e2. Okay, but I thought forcing the queen there seems like not the right square for the queen, so this is fine. And then I was like, well, what do I do about the knight? I know, I'll play f5. And this is a mistake in my thinking I do, that it's called the AB mistake, I think, or something like that. AB, it's like you calculate something earlier, and then when you get to that moment, you just play it because you already calculated it. You're like, oh yeah, I was going to play this. Yeah, I did that too fast because f5 is a blunder. It's just a straight up blunder. And it's because I missed something. And I think had I stopped and looked at the position here, I could have seen the problems coming. But instead, I just kind of like played f5 quickly. And I think I was a little frustrated at this point, which letting your emotions dictate your chess moves is never a good idea. But I am a human being, unfortunately, not Stockfish. But yeah, so after f5, if you want to pause the video and see how white can get a winning position, go ahead and do so now. So there's an element in this position that I failed to notice, but had I stopped for even a minute, I think I could have seen that there's going to be a bunch of trades, and this bishop is in fact lined up with the rook on h8. So you know, once you see something like that, you've got to calculate what happens if these pieces all move out of the way, right? Like what happens? So it's not that hard to figure out. He can simply take, which he did. He takes the knight. I take back. And then d5. Very nice move. Because he's basically saying, you've got to take my pawn because you're forked. And once you do that, I'm going to take back with the knight. That's going to open up the bishop on your rook. And I'm sure he calculated this. And bye-bye rook. So this is how I lost the game, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm just not too happy with this one. I feel like I had a really, really good position against a 1900. And, well, kudos to my opponent. I feel like he dealt with it very nicely, like finding this so fast. Like as soon as I gave up the initiative, it's like he just jumped on it and found this tactic. So like, yeah, I guess that's the problem with 1900s. Like, don't let them do that. So instead of f5, what should we have played? Let's try to figure it out. That bishop's lined up with our rook. Our knight's also attacked. Yeah, I think the correct move here is probably just to go ahead and play bishop takes knight. I think that's got to be a pretty good move. The bishop will not improve. In fact, well, they can't take with a rook unless they want to lose their rook. So we're giving up the two bishops. But one thing I like about this is that we can take that if we want to. I don't necessarily think we should. But it removed an attacker off this knight. So this knight can stay here unless they want to give up their good bishop. And this bishop is not improved. It's actually blocking the rook now. Remember, we need to be concerned about rook takes c6. Stuff could be a thing. Yeah, and not only that, like, if you look a few moves ago, this bishop's awesome, right? It's pinning that knight, and that knight is attacked, and there's a lot of pressure there. As soon as white castles, the bishop is suddenly kind of misplaced, and the only other place the bishop can go is here, which is blocked. So it could be a defensive piece, but it's certainly not a great piece. So I think taking this way is right. I don't like this as much because I feel like that knight is really great. So we want that there. But yeah, anyway, that wasn't even the position, but yeah, anyway, I did this instead. So I think we should have played like here, and maybe rook he8, just get the rook off that line. Like maybe that would be okay. And the only forcing moves white has now, I think, is like this, I guess. I would just take maybe that. Okay, maybe we go here. Apply some pressure. Yeah, and let's see what the computer says. It says black's better again. So I'm sure white could play better than the moves I just gave, but yeah, so that's pretty much the game, though. I'll show you the rest, but it was just me trying to be tricky. I did see one interesting idea, but it just doesn't work. Yeah, here, I thought for a while, because I was very strongly considering rook takes. I thought if rook takes and he plays bishop takes h8, it looks crazy because I'm undefending that. That's a full rook now. But then we have this move rook d2, and like that queen's almost trapped. In fact, the queen has to go to e1 in line with the bishop. The problem is I couldn't find like a good move from here. Like I thought, ooh, what about rook d3? You know, that would attack the queen. But then I think that bishop could come back to c3. And then I was trying stuff like take it, and they take with a rook, and I just thought, ooh, in that position, if I have queen f6, you know, hitting the rook and the knight, like maybe this is legitimate. But the problem is they would just take the rook on d3. So I tried different iterations of that, but none of them work, and I'm sure a computer agrees. Let's see. Yeah, it says this is even worse, which was my conclusion. So I'm glad I got that right. Yeah, I thought here, and it's like, what do we do now? Like there's nothing I can really do. I mean, this does nothing. That's just a rook trade, right? And if we go here, which is a discovery, yeah, I thought they block with this bishop. Doesn't give it. It gives rook takes c6 now. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gotta keep that in mind, like I was saying. But I thought this move is more logical. And then I thought take, and here, yeah, but yeah, we just run out of stuff. It's just lost now. So okay, so this happened, but I mean, hey, it's just an exchange. Let's, you know, not give up our whole life. Oh, it's more than exchange. He did get that with check. That was disturbing. I didn't see that move. I knew he was getting the exchange, and I was like, oh, it's just an exchange, like I just said now. And then I was like, oh, okay. Now he's got 4 versus 2 over there. 4 versus 2. 4 pawns versus 2 pawns. That means he can probably make 2 pass pawns. But I think it's worse than that, because my pawn on e4 is very vulnerable. Like, it's not so easy for me to defend, but it's pretty easy for him to attack. Like, my bishop is never going to defend. It's the wrong color, and yeah. So I just went here. Yeah, now he just tries to trade queens. I played this funny move, collinear. But he's like, yeah, that's fine. He forked me, but I did see I have knight c6. Rook b1. Oh, and I didn't enter the rest of the moves in. I have them somewhere. But trust me, it's not pretty, but here I'm going to pause it and I'll show you guys the rest. Hang on. Okay, so I have the rest of the moves here, so let's just go through them real quick. So rook, what was this move? It was move 26, rook b1. Wow, move 26. I had 13 minutes left. I played king c8. Oh yeah, because he's, he wants to take that. Knight f5. Rook d8. I figured I might as well try to get active. It's my only hope. Knight e7 check, which I didn't think was most accurate. Yeah, it's not, but it's fine. So I take. He takes here. So he wants to trade down, so that does make sense a bit. And then I just put knight c6, attack the rook, protect a7. He played rook h5, attack my pawn. I played rook d7, defend it. King f1, time to get the king up. b6. I need to push my majority. This is basically the only reason I kept playing, is because I have this 3 versus 1. And, if he messes up, I'll make a queen, I guess. So, gotta at least try, I would say. King e2, knight a5. I actually thought he could play this. So after I played it, I was kind of nervous he would do that. This seems completely winning because my pawns are way too messed up to hold this rook ending. So computer agrees, +3 it says. All right, but I played it anyway. Knight a5, rook b4, attacking my pawn, rook e7. I might as well try to defend it. I mean, I don't know what else to do here. So he attacks it again. I go c5, attack the rook. He does take. And I go rook d7. I'm just cutting the king off. I don't want to trade rooks. I think that's suicide, basically. Rook e8 check. He's going after my h-pawn. King c7. I wasn't sure about king c7. Oh, okay, it's best. Okay. Rook h8. King c6. Rook 8 takes h7. Rook takes h7. Yeah, this time I did trade, but it was tough to find another move. So, yeah, I should have played rook d5, the computer says, but it gives the same eval for this, so rook takes, rook takes. Okay, I go a6. Okay, it gets a little tricky here, I remember. Not like a huge amount, but yeah, so why did I play that? The problem I had here, yeah, I was actually worried about this, like, because after a6 check, which he did play, by the way, I was worried that king b5. I'm not sure if I played king b5. Yeah, I didn't. I went king c7. I was really worried that on king b5, he could play this move. And then if I take that, which I kind of have to, then I thought he takes here. And now my pawns are split, and like I have no chance now. My king's cut off, pawns are split. So I was worried about that. So I actually, after this moves, computer gives, no, it says take and take. No, it says +10 though. I mean, yeah, so I went king c7. I just didn't want to walk into that. But that's kind of like not the move I want to play. h4. Knight c4. Let's get going. a4. He's getting his pawn going. So now I go a5. a5 might be a mistake. No, computer likes it. Okay. Yeah, a5. Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't go h4. He went a4. Yeah, I was going to say, why didn't I take the pawn? No, I was going to take the pawn, but he played a4, and then I went a5. Peter does not love it. Yeah, this is not the structure I wanted, but on the other hand, I wanted to fix the pawn and play knight b2. So I was thinking fix the pawn, pushes or something, and then knight b2 I thought. And then I'm going to win the pawn. So that's why I did this. I did not want him to play here, like, because I'm going to need to move my knight. And when I do, he could play a5. And I didn't really want that to happen. Maybe it's fine, but okay. a5, rook f6. Yeah, so he wants to do that. Knight b2. And rook f4. Okay, and then king c6. And h5. Okay, here goes this one. Now, yeah, here I was planning to move c4, which I thought was interesting. I'm blocking that, and I could play here first and then take. I gotta do something. And I also liked how this actually takes a square away from the king. And okay, but rook f4, king c6, h5. Okay, c4. Yeah, this is kind of like annoying, isn't it? Look, it built a wall. It's a nice little pattern. So I kind of like that. I figured I got to do something right now because that's happening. There's no way to stop it. I either make a queen or I just lose. So, so c3, h7. h7, what? Oh, wait. I'm sorry, what move are we on here? Oh, after h5. Oh, after h5, I went c4. Sorry, I don't know what. King c6, h5. Oh, I wrote h5, but I guess it's h4. Yeah, and then it goes here. And I just went c2. And then he played king d2. I mean, I still had tricks up until this. But after this, the tricks are over. This is done. There's nothing I can do now. Like, I was hoping he would push again, you know. But, of course, he's not. He's not an idiot. So after king d2, I mean, there is this trick, which looks fun. But I'm not stopping that. Like, it's still done. Like, I can win the rook. It doesn't matter. So, so yeah, that I lost the game. But it really came down to playing excellent in the opening and the early middle game. My g5 plan was pretty good. So I'm happy with that. And I played good until this bishop d5 move. And I calculated so long and came up with the wrong move. So that's quite disturbing to me. And I'm going to be really digging into why I chose the wrong move. But I think it was failure to appreciate the initiative here and failure to understand that once that bishop gets to g2, that king will never truly be safe. I mean, that it's definitely, without the pawn there, h3 is weaker, f3 is weaker, the g file's open. Like, that is definitely, like, that constitutes some sort of a advantage for black. And then it just comes down to whether it concretely can work out or not. But it's definitely the right choice. Bishop d5, on the other hand, just gives up, I feel. So not happy with that move. And then the real blunder comes right after. But I probably tired myself out from the first part of the game. I don't know what else to say because I did not even think twice before playing this f5 move. And then losing the exchange, and that pretty much cost me the game. So unfortunate one, but it was not a disaster from here. I was 1-1, and of course I'm playing a section up. So even if I can score 50%, that would be just a total win for me, I feel. And if I do better than that, that would be just amazing. So definitely was looking to come back Saturday afternoon and win round 3. So I'll be back with more chess. Okay, bye.